Welcome back. You are still watching Prime Daybreak, and as we did mention earlier, we are going to be having a segment called Success Alignment, and this will be handled by Dr. Mwami, and Dr. Mwami is in the studios with me this morning. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to this segment.
Good morning, and good morning to all the viewers. I'm so happy again to be here and to be on Success Alignment.
Since this is the first of Success Alignment on this particular program, tell us, give us some detail of what we expect from this particular segment.
Beautiful. Well, success is a manifestation of quite a number of things. And for a person to be able to manifest or achieve success, they need to be aligned to four things that I'm going to talk about, which I call the foundations of success alignment. The whole reason for this segment is to be able to bring people into congruence with the success they want so that they can move towards their success with confidence, with assurance, with agility. It will no longer be a guesswork whether they'll be able to get to their success. They will know. They'll move from believing to knowing that they can be very successful.
Take us through today's alignment of success.
Beautiful. Let's begin this with a story. It's a beautiful story called the alignment story or the congruence story. So 2008, I was living in Pretoria and I had started professional speaking and I became a keynote speaker. And I was moving from city to city using public transport. The buses are quite comfortable, but long distances, you have such a backache and you move into auditorium to speak. You're not feeling fresh, you're not in your right mind, you've been in the noisy place, and so you don't have the capacity to flow. And so I was speaking to a friend of mine and said to him, look, I've started professional speaking, but something is not right. And so he asked me the first question, what vehicle are you driving? I said, well, I'm not driving anything right now. I'm using public transport. He says to me, you'll never be a successful professional speaker if you are using public transport. And secondly, he said, you'll also not be successful in speaking if you're going to use any other car but an S-Class Mercedes-Benz. I'm like, that's unfair. What do you mean? He says to me, the S-Class Mercedes-Benz has a system that massages you when you're driving, and it protects your bag. So you can actually do 600 kilometers yourself driving, get to your destination, move onto the stage, and be able to speak and don't feel any fatigue whatsoever. So I began looking for an S-Class Mercedes-Benz. So at that time, I only had about $3,000. It's not enough money for you to get a proper S-Class. So I started calling garages. Do you have an S-Class for me for $3,000? Where a lot of people laughed at me and say, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Will you be able to get an S-Class for $3,000? I remembered I had a friend, and this is where I talk about relational capital. I had a friend in a town called Greytown. It's near Durban. So I called him and he asked me, why are you looking for an S-Class? So I explained. He said, well, I have a Mercedes-Benz. It's an E-Class. It's got the same function that is on the S-Class. So he says to me, well, bring your $3,000. Let me make a plan for you. So I went to Greytown. You're looking at probably 600 Ks away from Pretoria. So I saw this beautiful E-Class and he says, well, you're my friend, I'll get $3,000 from you. So I gave him $3,000 and then he says, well, Doc, before you leave, we need to do a wheel alignment on this vehicle. I never knew at that time what wheel alignment meant. The only thing I knew was John 3:16 from a preaching background. So I was like, look, please, I want to drive my car. I want to go home. I was excited to have a Mercedes-Benz, so I couldn't wait to get on that driver's seat and hit the road. He pleaded with me, let's do an alignment. I said, I'll be fine. Well, you know, I can be very convincing, so I prevailed and we didn't do any wheel alignment. I thought he would change his mind. So I got the car and started driving from Greytown to Pietermaritzburg. You know, the roads are quite narrow, so you don't drive very fast. And when I got to Pietermaritzburg, hit the freeway. And when I started getting to 100, the vehicle started dancing. And instead of me controlling the vehicle was controlling me. And it tried to drive a little bit fast. It's like it wants to go off the road. And I didn't like the feeling. Now I was confused. I thought the E-Class would do me good. But now I was forced to drive 80, 60, 80. And instead of taking 6 hours, it took me about 10 hours to get to Pretoria. I was so tired. I went to sleep, woke up, took a bath, and then I called my friend. I said, hey, what is this thing you sold me? You told me the E-Class is as good as the S-Class. But this thing cannot even go up to 120. He asked me, what's the problem? I said, the thing is controlling me. This vehicle is controlling me. It's dancing on the road. It's like it's sliding. I'm losing control. He laughed. He said, hey, Doc, I told you we needed to do wheel alignment only for 50 rands. But you said you'd be fine. The car is okay. Just go to the garage, give them 50 rand, and they'll do wheel alignment. So I went to the garage and I asked them to do wheel alignment. They said it would take 30 minutes for 50 rand. And then they did the alignment. I got the vehicle, hit the road. The Mercedes started sitting on the road, and hey, I broke the law. I moved to 160 and to 180 and to 100. It was very comfortable. It dawned on me immediately that, number one, the mind will not invest in a thing it's not aware of. Look at me wasting 6 hours because I refused to invest 50 rand. And so I drove a vehicle that was out of alignment. Don't you think so it is with people, with professionals, with organizations? The Mercedes-Benz has such potential to move at 180 kilometers per hour, and it will still be stable and it will be comfortable. But when that machine is out of alignment, it won't perform at its highest potential. And so immediately I realized that every created being, every organization, every corporation, every company, every marriage, every relationship, every person has potential to become anything they want to become, to do what they can do, to achieve their dreams. But when you are out of alignment, when you are incongruent with your potential, with your intrinsic value, it will take you 10 years to hit your goals when it could have taken you 2 days. And so the Mercedes-Benz story showed me that the only cause for failure, there's only one cause for failure, there's only one reason for failure. It's not lack of opportunity. It's not lack of education. It's not lack of resources. It's lack of alignment. When you are out of alignment, when your marriage, when your relationship, when your organization, when your profession, when your career is out of alignment, you are bound to fail no matter how hard you work. You'll be like working like an elephant and eating like a mosquito. You are out of alignment. And so the purpose of this program is to help individuals, help relationships, help professionals, help corporations, organizations come into alignment so that, like that Mercedes-Benz, they can move with safety, with stability, with comfortability, and with speed. It's all about performance. I always say this, from the bedroom to the boardroom, you are fired for non-performance. If you fail to perform, you're fired. You are hired because of your qualifications. You are fired because you couldn't perform. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you encourage people to start this day?
Well, there are 4 V's that you must work on to come into alignment. Number 1 is to look at your vision. So the first V of starting a day, the first V of coming to alignment, the first V to unlock your value, the first V to unlock your potential or your performance is to again look at your vision. What's your vision for today? What's your vision for your lifetime? What's your vision for the week? And vision only means three things. It means be, do, and have. Your identity, your behavior, and your assets. Every morning when you wake up, you have to go to your vision board, probably your mentor vision board, or a vision board on your wall, and ask yourself, what's your vision for living? What's your vision for today? What is it you want to become today? What is it you want to do today? What is it you want to have today? That should be your foundation that anchors your life for a day, despite what you see. You must be able to ask that question. And so as you start your day and as your day unfolds, unforeseen circumstances will show up. But if you can remember your vision, you'll always ask the second question. The second question is, what's the opportunity in the situation that unlocks the value to manifest my vision? And so you start your day with number one, vision. Number two, you have to ask yourself a question. What's the vehicle for my vision? Do I use the product called me? Or do I use the products that others have created, which I'm selling? Or do I use my organization as the vehicle to achieve the vision? So this morning you've started your day and these are your goals. This is your vision. What vehicle are you going to use to accomplish your vision? The third V is something I call your vocation. What's your mission? What is it you want to do? Have you defined your mission with such crystal clear mind that your 10-year-old son, your 8-year-old daughter can understand? What's your vocation? What's your mission? What are you designed to do? What are you wired to do? What are you demanded to do? So that you are focused. There's so many distractions in this world. I like to watch WWE, and one of the reasons I like to watch WWE is to see how distractions are used to make a person lose. And so when you define your vocation, which is your mission, then you are able to use your vehicle to get to your vision. And the last V, or the fourth V, is what I call velocity, the speed. At what speed do you want to achieve this? Well, when a child is born, the child doesn't have teeth, the child is not able to talk, but we know in 2-3 years the child should be able to talk. But if the child is not talking in 5 years, something is wrong. So you look at your vision, you look at your goals, you look at your vocation or your mission, you look at the vehicle you want to use, and here's the fourth question. At what speed, when do I want to actualize this? You cannot just wake up and work. You must have a target. If you're playing soccer, you must win in the next 90 minutes, right? You cannot just play for the sake of playing. So at what speed do you want to accomplish what you've set yourself to accomplish this morning? Is it at 2 o'clock or is it at 4 o'clock? How will you know you've accomplished? So the 4 V's of starting your day, the 4 V's of creating a foundation for alignment is vision, vehicle, vocation, and velocity. When you have these 4 V's, you unlock what I call value. And when you unlock value, you'll be paid for value. You'll be awarded for value. You'll be recognized for value. You'll be headhunted for the value. And so you have to ask yourself this question. Do you want to become the value, or do you want to sell value? In the marketplace, you are either the value you become or you sell the value someone is selling. And so unlock value this morning. Aim at unlocking value. How valuable are you to Zambia? How valuable are you to your company? How valuable are you to your family? How valuable are you to your relationship, to your marriage? What value do you bring to the table? To bring that value, you must redefine your vision, understand your vocation, know the vehicle you're using, understand the velocity.
Doc, we would like to thank you very much for coming to help us start the day on such a bright note.
Thank you so much. And I wish the viewers to focus and refuse to be distracted